Hey everyone, and welcome to Bite Size Tactics. In this video, I wanted to have a look at the Venomthropes. Now, this is a really good support unit for the Tyranid army, and I just wanted to have a quick analysis of how good it really is. Starting with their profile, they have a very basic movement of 6 inches, an okay toughness at 5, a 4 plus armor save, which is pretty mediocre, 3 wounds per model, which can be quite helpful, a leadership of 8 plus, and an OC of 1. The unit can consist of either 3 to 6 Venomthropes. A unit of 3 will cost you 70 points, while a unit of 6 will cost you 140 points. The keywords to take note of are the infantry and a fly keyword. This could be important for abilities and stratagems, as well as looking out for anti-infantry or anti-fly weapons that your opponent might have. This unit also has the core stealth ability, and it has its own inbuilt ability called Foul Spores, which basically gives friendly units within 6 inches the benefit of cover, and if that unit is not a monster, the unit will also gain the stealth ability as well. Venomthropes only consist of having melee weapons and don't have any ranged weapons. Their melee weapons are the Toxic Lashes and have anti-infantry 2+. And to be honest, that's the best thing about this weapon, as it's got a very low strength, no AP, and only does 1 damage. So their weaknesses, we touched on one before, which was their horrible damage output. So don't expect them to be winning you any combats in the game at all. Also, you need to be careful of those anti-fly or anti-infantry weapons, and another big weapon to look out for is indirect shooting, as you want to keep this model very safe throughout the game. This unit also lacks a lot of durability in the profile, so you don't have a high toughness. You do have quite a few wounds, but with such a low armor save at only a 4+, you probably will find yourself getting shot at quite a lot, and your saving throw being a 50-50 chance. It also doesn't have a lot of scoring potential. Maybe on the odd occasion it will score you some secondary points, but that's only if you're in the right place at the right time. It's also not a fast unit, and considering you really want this unit to catch up with all your other more important units that you have in the army, you really will need to advance this unit so that you can move it within range of its Foul Spores ability. Looking at some strengths, obviously their biggest strength is that it increases the durability of your army through the Foul Spores ability that it has, which will really annoy your opponent. So you just need to make sure that you're always keeping within that 6-inch bubbles and don't accidentally take yourself out of it. It's also helpful in preventing close, deep striking units, such as Inceptors, from getting too close to your units that you want to keep alive, such as potentially a big monster that you just always want the benefit of cover to. This unit is also really good at playing the fixed objectives game, as it is really good at holding your fortified objective or objectives, and then allowing those units who are going to be scoring those points a lot more durability and keeping them around up for longer so that you could potentially win the game. They're also very cheap and easy to use, and they can be used in all detachments, which is a really big plus, especially if you're a beginner player and you're just looking for units that can be used in multiple ways, or at least in multiple detachments, so you have the choice there. You could also use them as a sacrificial unit later in the game after they've already served their purpose, and to keep one of your other more important units safe in those last dying turns. For mission play, they're a pretty good support piece for your army with that Foul Spores ability, and this unit really needs to hang back to avoid being shot at, while also being central to your army. And what I mean is you need to make sure that you keep them out of line of sight, hidden behind terrain, but also just within that 6-inch bubble of the units that you really want to get the benefit of cover and that stealth ability too for the durability. You probably also want this unit or the units close to those fortified objectives so that you can make it harder for your opponent to shift you off of it, and perhaps even allow those more important units to even push forward and provide a counter charge if the opponent comes too close, and yet you'll still be holding the objective because the Venomthropes are still there. Now, some helpful units are definitely the Psychophage and the Zoanthropes, because the Psychophage can provide a 6+ Feel No Pain, while the Zoanthropes provide a 6+ Invulnerable save, and that could be very handy for combat situations, especially if you accidentally misplay the Venomthropes and you find them in contact with a combat efficient unit, and you might be able to just scrape through and keep them alive. Also, any units that can use the Heroic Intervention stratagem for free are also quite important to be around if you have them in your army list, as if they do get charged, you could then use that Heroic Intervention stratagem to then charge in and perhaps divvy up the attacks enough so that the Venomthropes will still be unscathed, or at least provide an issue for your opponent. For my own verdict, They don't sound fantastic, but they do provide the Tyranid army with some decent durability, which is found lacking throughout the army. And it's also probably the best supporting unit that you will find in the Tyranid Codex. They're also quite cheap, so having 2 units of 3 in the army is quite feasible. Some might run 3 units of 3, but that's really up to you how many you may want. Also, again, they may be weak and won't offer you lots of scoring, but they will keep your units around for longer. Also, as I said before, they can go in pretty much all detachments and still be useful. So if you're a beginner player or just coming back to the hobby, or even if you're someone who really likes the hobby so much and you're just looking to branch out, this is a very good unit that you could use universally throughout the codex and in all detachments. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, feel free to leave a like, comment what you think of the Venomthropes yourself, if you've played them or if you're thinking of playing them, and if you like the content, subscribe to the channel for more.